Hello everyone, welcome to a short lesson video on the topic Standard Costing for Cambridge A-Level Accounting. In this video, we will understand the concepts of standard costing, standard hours and flex budgets and solve simple examples on the same. Before we proceed, please note, abbreviations are used in this presentation only due to space constraints. Abbreviations are strictly not allowed in the Cambridge exams. What is meant by standards in standard costing? We all have standards that we want to live up to, that we want to meet in our daily lives, don't we? Standards are goals or things that we want to achieve. For example, you may wish to save a certain sum of money to purchase a mobile phone that you like, or you may wish to complete a marathon. This same idea is widespread in the manufacturing business. To achieve an efficient production process, firstly, a budget will be prepared at the beginning of the period. This budget will set the targets or standards that the business hopes to achieve, for example, making sales of 10,000 units in the next quarter or lowering overheads by $20,000 per annum. Thus, standards are set for future performance in the budget at the beginning of each period. But are targets always achieved? If you were not able to accumulate sufficient funds for the purchase of the mobile phone, you may need to investigate the reasons why. Maybe the phone was a high-end model and it was really out of your budget, so the target was always a bit unrealistic. Or maybe the income was less than expected. Or it could be that other financial priorities took precedence. If you were not able to complete the marathon, maybe you did not have enough time to prepare and so the target was always a little unrealistic. Or maybe you had a poor training regime or a poor athletic diet which did not let you complete the marathon. Similarly, if the business does not achieve the standards set, the managers will also wish to find out why the standards were not achieved. Let us now take a look at the meaning of the term standard costing. Standard costing sets the predetermined or budgeted costs and revenues which are to be achieved under normal operating conditions. At the end of the period, a comparison will be made between the predetermined cost and the actual cost. The difference between the predetermined or budgeted cost and the actual cost is called variance. Variances are periodically recorded. Let us now understand the different types of cost standards. The first one is the current cost standard. This standard is based on current levels of performance, that is the as-is situation. This means that if 10,000 units are being produced currently, then 10,000 units of production is the standard. Therefore, there is no incentive to perform more efficiently for the managers and the workers. This standard is only used when present business environment is so uncertain that it is difficult to use any other standard. Ideal cost standard assumes that there will be no breakdown of machinery, all employees will work at 100% efficiency, and that there will be no idle time, there will be no wastage, and the ideal price will always be paid for materials and labor. Standards set on this basis are usually unrealistic. Attainable cost standards recognize that ideal conditions will not always exist. There will be wastage of materials, employees will not be 100% productive, and machines will break down. As a result, realistic consideration is given to these facts in setting the standard. We will now understand the meaning of standard hours. A standard hour is the amount of work that ought to be achieved in 1 hour. Therefore, a standard hour is a measure of quantity of work. Let's solve a simple example to understand this better. A factory manufactures 3 products A, B and C. The time taken to produce 1 unit of each product is as follows. So 1 unit of product A takes 6 minutes to make. 1 unit of product B takes 4 minutes to make. 1 unit of product C takes 5 minutes to make. The budgeted production for the month is product A 12,400 units, product B 18,000 units, and product C 21,000 units. There is another way to express the budgeted production. Let us see what that is. So we'll write budgeted production. The factory has estimated that they will produce 12,400 units of product A and each unit of product A takes 6 minutes to finish. So we'll write 12,400 units of A. Therefore, the budgeted production of A will be 12,400 units multiplied by 6 minutes per unit divided by 60 minutes in an hour, which is 1,240 standard hours. The factory has estimated that it will produce 18,000 units of B in the month, and each unit of B takes 4 minutes to make. So we'll write 18,000 units of B, and the budgeted production of B will be 18,000 units multiplied by 4 minutes per unit divided by 60 minutes in an hour. That is 1,200 standard hours. The factory has estimated that it will produce 21,000 units of product C in the month, and each unit of product C takes 5 minutes to make. So we will write 21,000 units of C, and the budgeted production of C for the month is 21,000 units multiplied by 5 minutes per unit divided by 60 minutes per hour. That is 1,750 standard hours. Therefore, total standard hours of production for the month will be the total of these three figures, that is 4190 standard hours. So basically, instead of saying that the budgeted production of the factory for the month is 12,400 units of A, 18,000 units of B, 21,000 units of C, the output can conveniently be expressed as 4190 standard hours. Therefore, we can say that standard hours is especially useful as a common measure of combining different products so that manufacturing performance for a cost center or production unit can be established. Let us now spend some time understanding the important concept of flexed budgets. We will solve a simple example. The managers of G Limited provide the following information for the production of product S during March. So they had estimated that they would produce 80,000 units of product S. They had estimated that they would use 240,000 liters of direct material. But things rarely go according to plan, we know that, isn't it? So the actual output was 70,000 units of product S, and the actual use of direct material was 220,000 liters. We are required to calculate the amount of direct material saved or wasted during March. So should I just conclude that 240,000 liters of direct material should have been used and 220,000 liters of direct material have been used? So there is a saving of 20,000 liters? No, it would be wrong to draw this conclusion because 240,000 liters of material usage is for 80,000 units of product S, and 220,000 liters of usage of direct material is for 70,000 units of product S. So this is not comparing like with like. Therefore, I will have to prepare a flexed budget. So as per the budget, 80,000 units were supposed to be produced and 240,000 liters of material were supposed to be used. However, actually only 70,000 units were produced. So how many liters of direct material should have been used? We will cross multiply. We get 210,000 liters. As per our budget, if 70,000 units were produced, 210,000 liters of direct material should have been used. Thus, we are adjusting the budgeted output figure to the actual output figure. This adjustment is called flexing the budget. So we will write direct material that should have been used. It is 210,000 liters. But we have been told that G Limited actually used 220,000 liters of direct material. Therefore, actual direct material used was 220,000 liters. So we see that there was wastage of 10,000 liters of direct material. An investigation should be undertaken to determine why this happened, and remedial action should be taken if possible. We'll now solve a similar example. The following information is given for direct labor hours for July for the production of product L. We have been given the budgeted production, budgeted direct labor hours, actual production and actual direct labor hours for product L. We have to calculate the direct labor hours to be used in a flexed budget for July. As per the budget, 250,000 units of product L should have been produced and 70,000 labor hours should have been used. So 250,000 units should have been produced as per the budget and 70,000 labor hours should have been used as per the budget. However, things did not go according to plan and the actual production was only 225,000 units. So 225,000 units were actually produced. Since actual production differs from budgeted production, we will have to flex the budget. So if 250,000 units were produced, 70,000 labor hours should have been used. Therefore, if 225,000 units are produced, how many labor hours should have been used? We will cross multiply. We get 225,000 into 70,000 upon 250,000, which is 63,000 hours. Therefore, direct labor hours that should have been used, it is 63,000. But the actual direct labor hours that have been used have been given to us. It is 65,000 hours. Actual direct labor hours used are 65,000. So we see that 2,000 hours have been wasted. Wastage of direct labor hours is 2,000. So an investigation should be conducted to determine why this has happened and remedial action should be taken if possible. So a flexed budget is prepared when the actual production is more or less than the budgeted production. And why do we need to prepare a flexed budget? To adjust the budgeted information so that we ensure that variances are based on truly comparative data. Budgeted sales volume must be adjusted to the actual sales volume when we are preparing the flexed budget. Similarly, the variable expenses in the budget must be adjusted to take account of the actual volume of goods produced. And any semi-variable expenses must be adjusted for the same reason. So basically, to ensure that like is compared with like, we prepare a flexed budget. Always remember, a flexed budget will be based on the actual volume of output. So that was a brief introduction of standard costing, standard hours and flexed budgets. We will understand variances in the next video.